Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here. In this video we're talking about Xbox Live, N64, Among Us, and more. Let's get started. Alright, we'll kick things off here talking about N64 emulation on PC with M64P. M64P just got a brand new update. This version of M64P was just released on GitHub and I'll leave a link to it in the description below. Feel free to check it out. It's called the one with better timing. So at a high level here, these changes make M64P a heck of a lot more accurate, and it's all thanks to timing. The developer referenced CEN64, Ares, and a few others here to improve the timing. They say timing is now much more accurate. For example, in the DK64 intro, Donkey Kong now correctly grabs the vines and swings across the water. Now, if you like playing N64 games on your PC and you haven't checked out M64P, I'd highly recommend checking it out. It's 100% free and it's also open source. If you're currently using M64P, I highly recommend updating to this version. Moving on, and we're talking about the OG Xbox Live. If you have an old Xbox laying around, or if you even have XEMU or XEMU depending on how you want to pronounce it, well, you might be incredibly interested in this news. Insignia, a replacement for Xbox Live functionality on original Xbox consoles, has made a ton of strides forward. MVG, which stands for Subscribe to Mr. Sujano, or it stands for Modern Vintage Gamer, depending on how you want to interpret that, had early access to test out Insignia, and the results so far were pretty darn good. Unfortunately, at this point in time, there is no public beta available and there's no ETA on when it's going to be available, and they don't want you asking either, and I haven't dared to ask. Once it launches to the public in beta form, there are 13 games in total that it will be compatible with. We've got Counter-Strike, Crimson Skies, Dead or Alive, Mech Assault, Midtown Madness, MotoGP, and Phantasy Star Online. In addition to that, there's Star Wars Jedi Academy, this is a good one, Street Fighter Anniversary Collection, Unreal Championship, Whacked, Xbox Live Arcade, and 13. They say here, we'd like to thank everyone for their support. They hope to share more info as soon as they can. So in the meantime, if you want to learn a little bit more about Insignia, I'll leave a link to their Discord channel in the description below, and maybe you can talk with some members of the community. Additionally, I highly recommend checking out MVG's video, and I will leave a link to it in the description below. He's got first-hand experience with it, and he talks about it in detail. And speaking about detail, next up here, we're talking about an old game that now has some more detail. Wario Land Super Mario Land 3 Color Edition has released. It's a ROM hack available on Romhacking, and if you want to check it out, I'll leave it in the description below. This ROM hack does work with emulators. It'll work on a Game Boy Color, but it won't work with a standard monochrome Game Boy. Last up here, we're talking about Among Us on the NES. Kind of, via a ROM hack. It's called Among Us: The Tragedy of Romhacking. Now, this Among Us ROM hack is based on Family Basic V3 for the Famicom, which has a very interesting story behind it in its own right. Gaming Alexandria has a great page on Nintendo Family Basic, and I'll leave a link in the description below in the event that you want to learn more. And if you want me to talk about it, let me know in the comments below. But getting back to the ROM hack here, this version of Among Us works a little bit different than the standard version you may or may not be used to. There are some imposters, you have to find them and mark them in order to kill them. You get points in this game in one of two ways, one for saving crewmates and the second one by being fast. The game starts out with one imposter out of 8 crewmates and gets harder each level by adding an imposter and taking away crewmates. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. Let me know your thoughts about anything we talked about today in the comments below, whether it's M64P, Insignia with Xbox Live, Wario Land in color, or Among Us on the NES. Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button, check out my other videos, don't tempt fate, save your state.